How many of us truly take a hard, long look at the everyday utilities that surround us? Not a lot, am I right? For many of us, life is mostly one big routine. We tend to buy the same things, follow the same schedule, and eat the same types of food, and so on. When we get into this type of routine, we just take for granted that things are the way they are. It may come as a surprise to many of us that the little gimmicks we depend on and have made an integral part of our daily lives truly have different purposes than the ones which we associate them with. You probably don't think much about the items you use every day. After all, you're using them every day. Plus, they get pretty boring after a while, and they become just another part of your routine. But many common objects have hidden features that make them much safer, more useful, and more interesting. So without further ado, here are 10 things few actually know the true use of. But before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell notification icon. Number 10. Doorknobs made of brass. So historically, many doorknobs have been made of brass. Old knobs and handles are almost exclusively made of the material. The reason for this is not just because of how good brass looks, but it serves a very hygienic purpose. Brass is a naturally pathogen-resistant metal, and given the high volume of people putting one of the most germ-infested parts of their body in contact with a doorknob every day, it makes perfect sense. Brass doorknobs are still a popular choice, albeit a considerably more expensive one, both for this practical reason and for the chic aesthetic look. Number 9. Hole in a spaghetti server. Almost every kitchen holds a spaghetti server. Have you noticed the hole that's right in the middle there? Most people assume it's just meant to drain the remaining water, but that's actually not true. In fact, this hole is meant for the exact measurement of one single serving of spaghetti. What a wild notion that this could be so helpful, yet so few people know its true intent. So now, you don't ever need to eyeball your spaghetti serving ever again. Just pull out the spoon and know exactly how much you need, right down to the last noodle. Number 8. The inside flap of a Tic Tac box. One might question the importance of this one, but hey, you never know when it could come in handy. On the underside of the lid to a box of Tic Tacs is a small raised oval. The question of what this is supposed to do has been around for a long time. The answer is that this is a way to dispense and hold one Tic Tac at a time. Now, this hidden feature of the box has gotten completely lost in time because virtually no one eats one Tic Tac at a time. So we have a tendency to just fish several out at a time right into our hands. Just know that next time, you'll have the option of eating one at a time, if you choose to do so. Number 7. The loop on the back of men's dress shirts. We've all seen the loop, and we really have not given it much thought. Neither do we have a clue about what it's for. Until now. The loop essentially exists to give an additional option for hanging if a traditional hanger is not available, as it still prevents wrinkling. If you hang the shirt on a hook by this loop, the shirt will not have to be folded, and thus will avoid getting creased. It's highly unlikely that most people ever thought to actually hang it this way on purpose, but nevertheless, this is the true purpose of that loop. Number 6. The hole at the ends of pots and pans. This could be one that most of us are familiar with. Many pots and pans have that hole at the end of the handle. Now, most people just assume that this is for hanging, and, well, yeah, that's probably the primary use. But an additional use for this hole is to hold a wooden stirring spoon. We all know the hassle. There's never a good place to lay the wooden spoon that doesn't get food all over it, unless you use this hole. It provides a great holding spot at an angle that will actually catch the drip over the pan, usually. This may be by design or just a life hack. But either way, it's certainly an excellent observation. Number 5. Hole in the cap of a ballpoint pen. I don't know about you, but this one was definitely quite surprising to know, as it's not what I would have expected at all. While not all ballpoint pens have this feature, chances are pretty great that you've seen it before without even thinking about why it was there. The open hole at the end of a ballpoint pen cap isn't just there so the company can save some extra cost on the plastic. It's open so as to allow ventilation to the tip of the pen, keeping it from drying out. Since we've all experienced our share of dried out pens, I'd say this is a pretty clever idea. Number 4. The small extra mini pocket on jeans. This little gimmick has always baffled me, and it's good to know that it actually serves a purpose. Hold on to that thought for a minute though. That little bonus pocket that's located in blue jeans is not to make you feel like a giant, nor is it for keeping spare change like I thought it was. Turns out, this mini pocket goes all the way back to the 19th and early 20th century, when men carried around pocket watches. This pocket was designed to perfectly fit a pocket watch, and while most people have abandoned the pocket watch, the extra pocket has stayed as a throwback to a different era. I know my expectations were a little too high on this one. It seems to me that, after all, it's not quite the helpful invention I'd hoped for. Number 3. The disc in plastic bottle caps. Every time you open a bottle of juice or soda, you may or may not have noticed a round plastic disc inside the cap of a plastic bottle of soda that usually falls out or is discarded. When you remove it, the cap still screws onto the bottle just fine, so what purpose could it possibly serve? The plastic disc creates a seal that keeps all the carbonation in the bottle at an equal level. So it turns out that this small piece of plastic that often goes unnoticed serves the most important function of the bottle itself. Now I know where all the fizz disappears to. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. Looking at the image above, one has to stop and think for a bit. As far as the eye can see, it looks like a typical, good old sturdy little wash bin. Nothing too intriguing, am I right? Well, it also shows that little hole above the sink has been greatly emphasized on, seeing as it's been highlighted. Let me tell you, if you've ever wondered what that little hole above your sink is for, your prayers have been answered. It serves two functions: to prevent an overflow with the drain stopper engaged, and to provide an escape route for air in the drain. Without this hole, a full basin of water would drain slowly because of the resistance it puts on air escaping up from the drain. An alternate escape route keeps air moving and the drain line flowing at full capacity.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Diamond patches on backpacks. I genuinely was part of the party that thought this little feature was purely for an aesthetic purpose. You all might have noticed that many backpacks of all sizes and brands share a common feature. I am, of course, talking about the small little diamond patch with 2 open slits. No one usually thinks much of this and figures that it's just part of the overall look of the backpack. It actually serves a very practical function, allowing the threading of a piece of cord or rope so additional items can be hung on the backpack from the outside. Not all backpacks have these, but chances are pretty good that you've seen it many times before. And hopefully, this might go on to be helpful in the long run. And that concludes our list for today of the 10 things few people actually knew the use of. Let us know in the comment section below which one was the most surprising and which one you were already aware of. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon. Thanks for watching.